Hi everybody. How are you? Welcome and welcome to Story in Art. It is great to have you here. My name is Gretchen Shepherd, and I am here with my nightly story and art time. Most nights I am live. Tonight happens to be a premiere recording because my granddaughter is turning 4, and oh my gosh. You who have been here on the streams with me know that nothing quite takes the place of in my heart as my grandkids. And so that is where I am at the Wild Rookus's 4th birthday. And so thank you for joining me for this pre-recorded story for this premiere. And if I can, I'll hop on in the chat. But for those of you who are regulars, have fun chatting with each other, and I look forward to hearing what you think about this story. So tonight, I chose a story that I looked back at it and I thought, man, have I read this? But I don't think I hadn't. I couldn't find it back in my notes and all my log of books I've read. I think it's because I've read it myself several times and find it so wonderful. You know, my motto for everything in my photography and in everything that I do is finding the beauty hidden in plain sight. Well, tonight's title is In Plain Sight. And the book was written by the author Richard Jackson. And Richard Jackson passed away in 2019. He was an editor, championed and edited books for people like Judy Blume. He later became a writer himself. Uh, he's one of those people that they consider kind of changed the landscape of children's literature. Um, Virginia Hamilton, he edited books for, Paula Fox, other award-winning authors, just amazing chapter books that I remember reading to my students, and some of the best. Virginia Hamilton's books are some of the best. Judy Blume, oh my gosh. Paula Fox, I'm not as familiar with, but those others that he has impacted, it's pretty amazing. And then in 2016, late in his life, he decided to become a children's writer. And he was 84 when he passed in 2019. And the book that we're going to hear tonight, he wrote in 2016. He was won great acclaims for it. And the illustrator is one of our favorites that we've seen before, Jerry Pinkney. And I think you're really going to like this book tonight. In Plain Sight is just one of those wonderful stories, you know, that relationship between grandchild and grandparent is a special one. Any kind of relationship between a child and an elderly person that they connect in different ways. I've seen it over the years be such a wonderful thing. But this relationship that is shown up in this book between the granddaughter and her grandfather is one I think you're really going to enjoy. So I hope you will sit back, relax, and enjoy In Plain Sight by Richard Jackson and illustrated by the great Jerry Pinkney. Man, what a combination. Ah, yeah, that's just pretty amazing. So here I go. In Plain Sight. Again, watch the color palette that Pinkney uses for this and the detail. When we talk about the art that he does, you'll see his style like we've seen in other books that he's done. And I always focus on the child's eyes in these and the people's eyes, and then the little details in the back, like in the front cover. Look at the little fish, the eyes in the fish. They all show such brightness, and it's just amazing. Here we go, in plain sight. Look at that cover page. Those in covers are amazing. So the aquarium carriers over, all kinds of different things are going to come in to this beautiful room. And there's a cat on a chair, a checkerboard. How many of you have memories with grandparents of things like that are in this room? I know I do. In plain sight. Sophie lives with Mama and Daddy and Grandpa, who lives by the window. He can see Sophie come and go, call and wave goodbye, hello, as he looks out. And after school each day, Sophie looks in. Here I am, Grandpa, she says. How was the morning? Surprising, he says. I had me a paperclip, you know. Nice and shiny. Now it's vanished. Help me find it, will you, with your bright eyes? Where? Says Sophie. That's just it, honey. You have to look. If you lean close, you might hear Sophie say, oh. And eventually, you might hear her say, there. Good, says Grandpa. Thanks, honey. Here I am, says Sophie on Tuesday. Ah, Sophie, he says, how was school? Good. It was a blue day. Well, that I can see. And how about you, Grandpa? Today was regretful. Oh, yes, I had me a rubber band. Stretchy. Boing. Now, boing, that band is gone. Help me find it, huh? And eventually, in plain sight, there it is. Here I am, Grandpa, says Sophie on Wednesday. Was today better? Not so much, says Grandpa. Had me a drinking straw. Bendy, just right, you remember? Now it's skedaddled. I'll look, says Sophie. I wonder. And eventually, in plain sight. Good girl, Grandpa says. Thanks. On Thursday, Sophie says, here I am, Grandpa. Anything missing? Well, wouldn't you know? Grandma's favorite painting brush for watercolors, child. I'm missing that. Can you help me, lovey? I can try, says Sophie. And eventually, in plain sight. Here I am, Grandpa, Friday at last. You bet, honey, he says, turning his smile to her. But wait, just look. Oh, Grandpa, you silly. Keep the dollar, Sophie. Tomorrow it says you can buy yourself something with it. Here I am, Grandpa, Sophie says, early today. No shopping? Well, best to save that dollar, I guess, for college. Now, let's see. Had me a what? A lemon drop. Delicious to think of, but then it just trotted off, unlicked. Don't tell me, Grandpa.
and eventually in plain sight. Good girl, Grandpa says. No, no, you have it. Sunday morning, as usual, at his door, Sophie starts to say, Grandpa, here I... But Mama hushes her. He's sleeping now. Which gives Sophie an idea. She whispers it to Mama. Daddy laughs when he hears. All right, he says, if you tiptoe. Here's Sophie at her very quietest, her tiptoeingest. That curtain at Grandpa's window? Well, keep your eye on it. And eventually, where's Sophie? Grandpa wakes. Yawns. Behind the curtain, a commotion. Wiggling, jiggling, giggling. Sophie? Grandpa says. That you? Why, I'll be. Here I am, Sophie says. Like always. And that's In Plain Sight by Richard Jackson, written and illustrated by Jerry Pinkney. What does he say about the art? I was wondering if he says what he did the painting with. The art for this book was created using pencil, colored pencil, and watercolor. Very cool. Jerry Pinkney does such amazing things. And there is the family. Sophie's off to school again. There's her grandfather in the door. And she's heading out to the school bus. That's such a great story. Yeah, it's not a very long one, but it's such a fun one. Oh, look at this. Last page I missed. And there's Grandpa hiding the paintbrush. I love that they had such a game for them. I don't know about any of you ever had those kind of fun games that you played. Whoa, what was that? I hit the wrong button. Oh well. Any of you ever had that situation where you had games that you played with your grandfather like that, or grandparents? My grandfather and I played this. My grandma would make at Christmas time make cookies, and we started quite a bit early because one of the cookies they made was this one called Springula, and it has to sit for several weeks and soak up the flavor, this licorice flavor. Grandpa wasn't much of one for being patient about cookies sitting for any time at all. So Grandma would hide them all over the house. And Grandpa would sneak around and try to find them and follow us it was just one of those fun kind of games. And then he would try to get me to tell him where they were hidden, of course. Always, always, always. So that was tonight's story about that wonderful connection between a grandparent and a grandchild. And I wanted to share that one with you because that's where I am. Tonight I am with 3 of my grandkids for one of their birthday. And it's just that special time that is important to find time to share with those that are important like that, and to make that connection. And that's what I wanted to do tonight, but I didn't want you to miss out on a story, and so I chose one that fit. So everybody, thank you so much for being here. I know it's a short story time and I'm on the road, so I couldn't be live, but I do appreciate you being here and inviting me into your home and coming into my studio and hearing story and art. And I will be back tomorrow night with another story. Um, Hopefully it will be live. If not, I'll get one recorded for you as it is. But until the next time, just like the book here said, in plain sight, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. Remember, it's all around you. But the first place you're going to probably find it is if you go look in the mirror, and it'll be looking right back at you. So until then, take care, everybody, and I'll see you next time for Story and Art. It's Gretchen. Bye.
All we need is a place to be and a few good friends for some company. If you'd like to stay, you don't have to leave. We'll leave the lights on and the door unlocked. If you drop on by, you don't have to knock. We're happy to share whatever we've got.